So that's why the first two rows นะครับ are wrong for the product table in here นะครับ we have to do something in order to make product ID, product name, supplier ID, and so on as the correct header of this table นะครับ we do it later on. And lastly, suppliers. Yeah, this one seems to be okay. Then you just click suppliers. Somebody said that can we choose two worksheet first or two table first, and we get the rest 5 tables later on. You can do the same thing นะครับ no problem. You can get 1 table first นะครับ and 6 table later on, or you can get 6 or 7 tables at the same time นะครับ after that you can see that we have 3 buttons: load, transform data, and cancel นะครับ so if you are sure that everything นะครับ seems to be okay for your data that you are getting, you can click load straight away. Otherwise, if you would like to have some modification, you click transform นะครับ or if you just would like to cancel this loading นะครับ you click cancel. In here, if I don't know anything, I load it first นะครับ let's see what's going on. So I will load the data into Power BI นะครับ it takes some time. Now Power BI will evaluate your data นะครับ they call this process as processing queries นะครับ processing queries. When they process already, they start loading all the data into the memory, and they create model นะครับ model means a relationship among different table นะครับ Power BI will justify everything automatically นะครับ you don't need to do anything, but you can override it if it's wrong นะครับ now the process is finished already. On the right hand side นะครับ right now we are in the report worksheet นะครับ okay, it's the white page. There's nothing because we haven't done anything yet. If you go to data sheet นะครับ in here you can see that on the middle of the screen it just show the information for a table. In here on the right hand side it shows list of table. The gray bar is on categories table, so this one means that Power BI is showing the data of categories table นะครับ when you load the data into Power BI you can check on the table on the data sheet first. If there is something wrong you can just manipulate those data later นะครับ okay, you can see that. Okay, for categories it's okay. Customers, it's wrong. You can see that. Okay, because customers have column 1, column 2 to column 5. Actually it should be customer ID, company name, and so on instead of column 1 to column 5 นะครับ so this one must be fixed นะครับ next, employees, you can see that we have the correct headers already นะครับ that should be okay. In here when we go to orders นะครับ it's wrong because in here you can see that the sales order ABC company and column 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the wrong headers นะครับ we have to fix it. Next, orders detail, it seems to be okay. Products, it's wrong, we have to fix it. And suppliers นะครับ it's okay. So the next process that we have to do นะครับ we always have to do นะครับ after we load the data into your Power BI already is that you have to clean the data. You always have to do the cleaning process first นะครับ before we do the data visualization. If the data is not cleaned, you cannot do anything because right now some of the tables that we have has a wrong headers. So when you just go to do the data visualization นะครับ your charts or your visuals may show the wrong headers นะครับ so that's why we have to clean. Always do it นะครับ once we have or we load the data into Power BI already we have to always clean the data. Okay, so now how to clean it. The first one is that you have to go to a menu นะครับ you have to go to a menu that is called as Power Query นะครับ Power Query. For the Power Query นะครับ in the current version of Power BI นะครับ they just like make this the name to just like to be just like more familiar to the users. They call it as transform data, but it's in the query anyway. In the Power Query anyway. So you can see a button called transform data, right? Okay. So you can see that here, transform data and data source setting. In here, we will use transform data. Everyone just click on transform data and see what is it. The new window that is popping up, we call it as Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. It's the window that we use in order to manage or manipulate the data in Power BI and also including cleaning or cleansing the data in Power BI as well. Okay, so in this one, okay, let me maximize the screen. Okay. It will be opened while your Power BI is still on. You can see that right now we have two screens, Power BI screen and then Power Query Editor screen. We just like go to Power Query Editor screen and then manage it. Let me explain to you first about this Power Query Editor screen. On the left hand side below the ribbons of Power Query Editor we have 7 queries 7 queries. Actually there are 7 tables that we have in our Power BI that we just like loaded into Power BI file. In the middle part of the screen it shows the example of the data it shows the example of the data, because if you have like hundreds of thousands of records of data, it will show the first 1,000 records only. Except you just like ask Power Query Editor to load more. Because I mean like this one they just work as a preview screen only, so that's why they don't load everything for you. Because in the real database sometimes in one table it consists of millions of records of data. If Power Query Editor load those millions of records of data, it wastes the time to process. Because as you know that Power BI, once we start, it's quite slow when we compare with Microsoft Excel. So that's why it just like try to save the time of the users by just like showing the first 1,000 rows. Okay, apart from that one, each column it shows the data type as well. What is the data type? The data type here is comparable to the data type in Microsoft Excel. It tells us that, okay, what is the data type of this column? For example, in here, you can see that it shows 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is the number. Is the integer number. ABC is the text. ABC is the text. If you go to some example, or sorry, some queries or some table like orders table, you can see that it has ABC 1, 2, 3. In this one, they call it as alphanumeric data. Alphanumeric data. It means that this column can consist of numbers and alphabets or letters inside. But if it's just 1, 2, 3, it will be just a number only. Or if it's ABC, it's just the alphabets or letters only. Okay. What else? Okay, what else? If you scroll to the right hand side, you can see that in here, required date and ship dates, they are shown as ABC 1, 2, 3, that is alphanumeric. But this one, you can see that it looks strange. These columns should be dates. but right now it shows as alphanumeric. This shouldn't be correct one. You may have to fix it. Okay, all right. Apart from the data type, what else that Power Query Editor show us? On the right hand side, this is important as well, especially for this box, apply steps. Apply step tell us that what you have been doing with this table. For example, if you change data type, it just like lists the step that you change data type. If you delete some columns out, it shows that you delete some columns so that you can undo the process here. You can undo the process here. You can see that if you have a look on Power Query Editor, it doesn't have undo button. It doesn't have undo button. So that's why you have to just like rely on the apply steps here on the right hand side. Okay. And in this Power Query Editors, we have like many menus, home, transform, add column, view, tools. Actually, you may just like manipulate the data by using home menu that covers almost everything. For transform here, they just like have some advanced features in order to manipulate your data as well, if you like. Okay, now let me just like start cleaning or cleansing the data. How to go to Power Query Editor once again. Okay, from the Power BI desktop, we go to Home tab, and then we go to Transform Data, and transform data in here. It pops up Power Query Editor. Okay, okay, so right now we will start like checking for our table at a time, our table at a time. So on the first table, categories. Okay, category ID is number is okay. Name, category name is letters is okay. Description letters is okay. Yeah. Categories table, nothing wrong with it. Let's move on to the next table. Customers. This is the problem. You can see that on the headers of the table, it shows column 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is not correct. Where is the real column headers? Okay. Everyone, you have a look on your screen, whether it's on the first row or not, customer ID, company name, contact name, and so on. If it's on your first row, then you can just like follow this step. Otherwise, you can't do it. In this one, you can see that the first row is our real header. The things that we want to do is that we want to replace the wrong headers with the value from the first row. So we want to replace the word column 1 with customer ID, column 2 with company name, and so on. What should we do? In this step, after you check already that row number 1 is the real headers, you just go to, let me just see, the home tab, the home tab, and on transform group is on the right hand side, it's here. You will see a menu called use first row as headers. In this one is what menu that we have to use. So let's click on use first row as headers. You can see that right now, column 1, column 2, and so on is replaced by customer ID, company name, contact name, and so on already. So right now, we replace the wrong headers with the correct one. But if you did something wrong, for example, if we say that, okay, this one you try to use the first row as a headers, but you can see that this one is wrong, right? Because it becomes ALFKI, Alfred Frutas Kiste, and so on as the headers that are wrong for sure. You have to reverse the step. You have to reverse the step, or I mean, the common words that we usually use is to undo it. How to undo? You have to look at the right hand side group in the apply step. You can see that in hereนะครับ these are list of steps that we have had. So let's have a look first. If you just like click on promote headers 1 นะครับ click on promote headers 1, there's nothing. Change type 1. You can see that, okay, change type 1 here. Your headers are still correctนะครับ. So that means the steps lower than change type 1 makes this actions or make these headers to be wrong. The things that we have to do is that we have to clear from the lowest lineนะครับ, or the lowest step first, that is change type 2 here. How to clear it out? You can see that when you click on the line, you see X button in front. You click on X or cross to delete the step out. You can see that, okay, the first step is like removed already, but it's still wrong, right? So the promote headers 1 นะครับ is another step that we have to clear it out. Then you just cancel. Okay, so right now this header is correct already. This header is correct already. Okay, so right now customers table is correct already. The next thing that we have to go is to the next. Hang on, let me just like see the data type of this table first and see whether it's correct or not. They are all text. Yeah, this is correct. And then let's move on to employees table. Okay, we just scroll to the right and see whether it's correct or not. Yeah, you can see that for birth date and hire date, the data type is date. That is correct already. That is correct already. You don't need to change anything. Okay. Okay, when employees worksheet or table is correct already, move on to orders. Now, once again, the orders table here, the headers of this table is wrong, but the correct one is row number 1. So everyone do it for me,ครับ. Change the headers to be the correct one. Do it by yourself, please. I give you 2 minutesนะครับto do that. Just make the correct headers for this table. Okay, so this one we do the same thing. We have to consider first which one is the correct headers, and we found that the first row is actually, it should be the correct headers. Then we have to switch or to change the first row to become our headers. So we just like go to home tab and then transform group, click use first row as headers. So it will be just like shuffled, not shuffle, sorry, it will replace the wrong header with the correct one. And then you can see that right now the data type of the column order date, required date, and ship date will be changed as well. So let me just like undo this process first, and then I'll just like show you for this one. You can see that in here, hang on. When we had the wrong headers, the column 4, column 5, and column 6, actually they should be the data type, but now they are showing as text. That is alphanumeric, sorry, that is wrong. But when we just like use first row as headers already, the data type will be fixed automatically from the alphanumeric to be date. Okay, this is correct already. Okay, all right, now the data is okay. right? Now let's move on to orders detail. The order detail table here, this one seems to be okay. For the discount, you can see that for the discount here, if you have a look on our Excel file in the order details, the discount here, actually in here it has just like very long decimal points for the percentage. And also in our Power BI in Power Query, it shows the discount as decimal numbers. You may just like think about it. If we just like change it to be percentage, how it looks like. So in here, if you do something that is to change or to modify the current or existing data, or columns that we have, Power BI will remind you first. For example, here we are changing the column type from number, decimal numbers or real numbers to be percentage. It may cause some data to be wrong or to be just like missing. So in here, it tells us, it reminds us that the selected column has an existing type conversion. Would you like to replace the existing conversion or preserve the existing conversion and add new conversion as a separate step? In this one, I suggest you to choose add new step. Add new step. Why is that? When we add new step and there is something wrong, you can undo just that part. But if you choose replace current, it will just like mix up with the change type for the previous step that we had before. And if we undo it, the thing that we did it correctly will be removed as well. So in this one, we choose add new step. So you can see that it has change type 1 here, right? Change type 1 here. That means if you don't want it later on, you can just cancel this step only. The steps that they change or they replace other things will not affect to our clear process. Yes. In here, we choose a column that we would like to change the data type. Click on the symbol that symbolizes the data type. For example, in here is 1.2. This is data type that is decimal numbers. Click. It lists out all the possible data type that we can have. We choose percentage. We choose percentage. Power BI, the Power Query Editor will ask you whether you would like to replace the current step or add a new step. I recommend you to add new step, so that if you undo, it will undo just this thing only. So you can see that right now the data type is changed to be percentage, and the data inside all of them will be converted to be the percentage already. All right. So any questions about changing the data type here? If you don't have any questions, let's move on to the next table. So right now, the product table here has wrong headers once again. So I'll let you change the headers to be the correct one. Okay, I give you 3 minutes to do it. Change the headers of product table to be the correct one. Okay, thumbs up. In order to replace the wrong headers with the correct headers, we in this example we have 2 different ways in order to do that. The first one, the first way to do is that we have to do it 2 times, because you can see that on first row is the null row. If you replace the current headers with the null row, the headers will be wrong. And after that, you just like use first row as header once again to apply the correct headers. Okay. So in this one, let's do the first thing that we learned before. We will use the first row as headers. So right now you have column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. That is wrong. And then you apply the same step again. Use first row as headers. So right now, the first row is the correct ones already. You have product ID, product name, and so on. Now, that is the first way that we can do. We do it twice so that we can get the correct headers. Let me undo the things first. Okay, so this is our original table that we had. So when we know that the first row, actually, it is not the correct headers if we apply that step. We have to eliminate this row first. And when the second row becomes the first row, then we can use that row as the headers immediately. So how to eliminate unnecessary or unwanted rows? Firstly, you just choose that row first. If we are in Excel, we may just like right click and then delete the row straight away. But in Power BI, we can't do straight away like that. So we just go to Home tab and you see reduce rows. When you know that the error is in row number 1, you will choose remove rows. Reduce rows and then remove rows. After that, you choose remove top rows. If you ask us that, how many rows would you like to delete? We don't want just one row only, so we choose 1 and then click OK. So right now you can see that the first row is clear out already. Let me do it once again. I undo it first. Okay. In this one, we know that row number 1 is wrong. We don't want it. Then we just go to Home tab, reduce rows, remove rows, and remove top rows. After that, we choose how many rows that we want to eliminate. This one is just 1 row. We click OK. Now, the first row is eliminated already. Now we can use first row, the new first row as a headers. And then we get the correct headers already. This is the process that we have to do in order to manage this kind of thing. After that, we go to suppliers table and check. Okay, everything seems to be okay for suppliers. Now I go back to product table a bit and check for the data type. Right, okay. So right now you can see that, okay, let's see, this is a bit interesting. For the discontinued column, we have where we have true or false only. You can see that the data type here is right or wrong in here. This is true or false, or we may call it as Boolean, or logical value, as we study in Excel before. This is what we want. Yeah. Okay. Right. When we have this already, that means all the data is checked, and we think that it's okay already. Apart from that one, what else that we should do for cleansing the cleansing process of your data? Once you just like check for the correct data type, correct headers already. The next thing that you may have to do is that you may have to clear out the data. You may have to clear out the data as well. For example, if we know that there might be some null rows, we can remove them by just going to reduce rows, remove rows, and remove errors. So we let Power BI to justify the errors by itself, and help us to remove. We do like this for every single table. Reduce rows, remove errors. It will justify for the error for us. Reduce rows, remove rows, and remove errors. Do the same thing with like every single table. right. So right now I try to clean error data or error rows out already. I expect that the data that we have in our worksheet should be clean. In our Power BI tables should be clean. After that, when we finish, we have to confirm the steps that we have done so far. How to confirm? Don't close straight away, it's not correct way. We have to click close and apply. Close and apply. We have to click on close and apply. Okay, we click close and apply. Okay, right now, it just come back to Power BI desktop page already. Okay, so right now, if you have a look in our data sheets, in our data view, you can see that every single table has correct headers already. Okay. Yeah, this one, everything is correct. So, on the next class, we are going to do the next step. After we clean the data, we will start working with the Power BI visualization tools. And when we are using Power BI, sometimes we know that some fields or some columns must be created. We will not do it in Excel anymore. If we want to have some extra columns, or if we want to handle, or manipulate the current or existing columns that we have, we will do in Power BI straight away. Okay, so let's save our Power BI file. So I have a question how to move back from query to Power BI. You have to click on apply, and then close. In this one, here, close and apply here. Click close and apply. It will confirm all the steps and come back to Power BI. Okay. Now, let's save Power BI file together. We click on save button. We click on save button. It will ask you where to save and do everything as usual, same as we save Excel file. So I'll name this file as ABC sales. The file type of Power BI is .pbix. So this one, it means that you can just like give this file to other colleagues to use, because it's similar to like other files like Excel file. You can just like send to other people so that they can use that specific software to open as well. So I save it. Right. So bear in mind that Power BI is quite slower when we compare with Excel. So you may have to be patient a bit if you confirm some steps, or if you do open file or save file or start Power BI. It might be a bit slower than Excel. Please be patient. Okay. Right. So right now we have our first Power BI file called ABC Sales already that we clean all the data to be the ready to use data already. Okay, so before we finish the class today, let me talk about the things that we have to do at the end of this term before we have the final examination. In this class, apart from examinations, we also have the presentation as well นะครับ so in this one นะครับ at the end of the term we will have the presentation that is the like a project for us นะครับ so apart from having the team presentation I will assign a work in Power BI as a teamwork as well that you will have to discuss with your team นะครับ okay so let's see นะครับ in e-learning I just like show you for the requirements for the team presentation นะครับ as a PDF file you just download and have a look ครับ let me just explain to you นะครับ for the group project นะครับ or group presentation here I want you to form a group of 4 up to 5 students นะครับ 4 up to 5 students per team so what do we have to do นะครับ from today till next Monday นะครับ please discuss with your classmates นะครับ for anyone who just like want to be together and then you set up a team นะครับ by yourself for 4 up to 5 people นะครับ 4 up to 5 people not less than 4 not more than 5 so it will be possible that on Monday นะครับ somebody may not have the team yet so I have to assign for you นะครับ I have to help you to find a team for you while some people may have just like 3 people only นะครับ so I have to just like help you to just like find the other member นะครับ something like that so what are we going to do นะครับ around tomorrow นะครับ by tomorrow I will open up a Google form for you นะครับ so for anyone who can just like form 4 up to 5 people นะครับ for your team already please register นะครับ please register in the Google form for me I will send you the Google form link and notify you in our line group chat นะครับ so that you can go to register for a team so when you register for a team just one person is enough นะครับ to register if you have 5 people you don't need 5 of you to register นะครับ in the form just one person who is the representative of the team please register for me you can change the list later on for example if you mistype some names or if you found that okay firstly you form as 4 people and a couple of days after this you found that hey there is another person who want to join us and we are okay with him or with her you can re-register นะครับ for a new person as well นะครับ okay right but I mean after I confirm all the team list already นะครับ you can no longer change because otherwise it will be just like confusing นะครับ okay let's see the task what is the task I would like each team นะครับ to assume that you have been running a business นะครับ it can be any kind of business for example your upperclassmen they assume that they ran a business like pet grooming business coffee shop hotel and resorts restaurants นะครับ airlines okay it's up to you นะครับ you can run any kind of business or if you have business your family business you may assume that kind of thing as well นะครับ because it might be easy to obtain or to make up some data นะครับ your business can be in any models that your team is interested in or has experience in you collect data regarding to the business in certain aspects for the operation sales productions for example if you have the current business at home you may use like or ask them for some data for example of the sales or operations or production as well but for the values for example like the name of the customers the name of the sales representative นะครับ or price per unit you may have to just like change it นะครับ make it to be just like some dummy data instead นะครับ now you are planning to get an amount of a loan from a financial institution for expanding your business for example you say that you want to build a new factory นะครับ and you want to ask for a loan from a bank นะครับ something like that for let's say 10 million baht The bank asks you to present your business performance and opportunity in the market. Then the things that you have to do is that I want you to use PowerPoint นะครับ use PowerPoint to show all basic information including facts and figures and executive data นะครับ like who are you นะครับ who are your team members what are the position in the company you can just like make them up นะครับ like for example for you you are the CEO of the company Jane is the finance manager นะครับ or finance director นะครับ of the company and so on. Then show details of data and functions how you calculate those values in Microsoft Excel. Your business data should use at least a function from every group of functions I provided in the list below นะครับ let's just like remove group number 1 นะครับ because I didn't teach you for date and time functions. Now let's start on group 2 นะครับ basic functions like sum, average, max and min, subtotal, sum product and count if. 3 if function with and or. 4 financial functions including amortization table. 5 what if analysis like goal seek, forecasting worksheet, scenario, 2 input table นะครับ lookup functions like HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, index and match, pivot table, data visualization like slicer and dashboard, scenario manager, scenario summary report นะครับ so pick these functions and then you should use at least one function from every group นะครับ not on function from every group one function at least from every group and after that นะครับ you just like present นะครับ by using PowerPoint and Excel. That means you have to open your Excel data file and PowerPoint นะครับ and you may just like switch between these two programs. For example, if you are talking about the sales of the company นะครับ you may just like capture the screen of the sales of the company or on the chart, create a chart in Excel and then copy into PowerPoint, something like that. And if I ask you that, hey, I'm just wondering why in year 2017, your sales was like higher than 2019. Can you please show me the original data? Then you just switch to Excel and show me instead. I have something like that. Each team นะครับ will be randomly select for the presentation order นะครับ when we'll be presenting it will be on the last week of this term นะครับ last lecture week of this term. Each team will have to spend around 10 to 15 minutes for preparation นะครับ and presentation using PowerPoint and Excel. Each student นะครับ in each team must have equal chance to present this work นะครับ I don't allow just one person or 2 person in the team to present. That means if you have 5 people in the team, 5 of you have to present. And submission, you have to upload PowerPoint and Excel file into our e-learning นะครับ when you finish your presentation because it's a part of the score as well. If you don't submit those PowerPoint and Excel, the score for your report will be missing นะครับ also write down student name and ID of each member in my Microsoft PowerPoint file on the first page too, because when I download the file, I want to know who are the presenters, who are your team members as well นะครับ student without his or her name and student ID in the PowerPoint file will receive 0 point นะครับ of the documentation parts. This group presentation has 15% from cost total score นะครับ absence of member. The member who is absent during the presentation will receive score of 0 point from presentation score นะครับ and there is no makeup presentation. The presentation date will be during the last lecture week. So for the presentation นะครับ because not all of you can be here in the classroom นะครับ the presentation will be on Zoom นะครับ so that means everyone should be able to present your work นะครับ and apart from that one, on the next class I will also assign the first extra extra point assignment for Power BI 2 นะครับ as the teamwork นะครับ next class will be like the teamwork and also I will have the individual extra point assignment again นะครับ okay right that's all for the presentation requirements นะครับ by tomorrow I will open up the link for the Google form so that you can register for your team and the registration นะครับ please finish it by next Monday morning นะครับ so that I can confirm and finalize the team นะครับ on next Monday right okay then up to this point do you have any questions ครับ everyone so if you don't have any question นะครับ everyone on the next class นะครับ you must have Power BI in your computer so that you'll be ready to just like study for Power BI นะครับ otherwise you miss the part in order to do or perform some functions in Power BI นะครับ if you are not ready we still have like couple of days นะครับ from today that is Wednesday to Sunday นะครับ please go to the IT store and let the IT professionals to help you to just like install Windows on your computer on your Mac if you have Mac นะครับ but anyone who use or who have Windows based PC already just install the latest Power BI version นะครับ okay then นะครับ everyone up to this point do you have any questions ครับ okay I'm done okay นะครับ class you have a nice day นะครับ and we see each other again on next Monday นะครับ